Welcome, everybody, to Production Pioneers, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge technology and vision leadership transforming how we make, grow, and create. I'm Kevin Durkin, CEO of Quant-Tek, and today I'm excited to be joined by Jared Nichols, Managing Director of TAG Sports and Outdoor. Welcome, Jared, to Production Pioneers.
Glad to be here, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me. Excited to discuss tag sports today.
I am too. After doing the research, I was pretty excited about this. But for the listeners who might not be familiar with Tag Sports, can you tell us what your company does and what the problems you're solving in the athletic training space?
Yeah, Tag Sports, a new founded company here in 2025. We are looking at and building sports radars for baseball, softball, and golf. You can track your pitching velocity, hitting velocity from either a bat or a golf club. And we just started selling in June of this year and on Amazon and our own website. So the problem that we're trying to solve is trying to bring accuracy, reliable, and portability to the radar game at an affordable price. So we're trying to get mom and dad to be able to get their kids out and play catch and see how fast little Johnny or Jill can throw the baseball or softball.
Nice. Tag Sports is a consumer brand from, I believe it's Einstein. Is that how you say it?
That is correct. Yes.
A company that's been engineering precision radar systems for aerospace and industrial applications since 15. How did Einstein decide to bring aerospace grade technology to the baseball field and to the batting cages?
So our founder Zongbo was a professor at the University of Kansas, was doing some research in this space, and at that time realized that he wanted to get into the business of doing this. And even then, he wanted to do consumer grade equipment. We Einstein does radars for skid steers and combines and drones. We've also worked on launch monitors for golf. We also did a chronograph for a company called Athlon in the optic space. So we've done some stuff in the consumer space, but not under our own brand. And Zongbo hired me on in September of last year to stand up Tag Sports and start building this little consumer grade sports radar and bring it to market and start getting excitement and energy around the brand and getting consumers interested in buying one.
Well, that's an absolutely fascinating pivot. Drones, industrial equipment. What was the aha moment that made you guys realize radar for more the consumer market could transform what you guys do and how athletes train?
As for all technologies, everybody wants to get the technology smaller. And as Zongbo and the team started working and determining that this technology could be miniaturized and shrunk down to a size for a consumer, they realized, yes, there's something here in the consumer space, and that was the aha moment. Even way back when he was first starting Einstein, he's like, we can shrink this technology down, because the legacy bullhorn or big gun type radar devices, they have a big horn in them, and this is a patch antenna on a printed circuit board. So they realized that they could get it to this size, and how cool would it be to pair with a smartphone and be able to magnet on the back of the device. And so that's kind of the way we went about it.
Your taglines, you're it, pushing boundaries and redefining how athletes measure success. What makes the tag one unique compared to traditional sports radars and that have dominated the market? You just started to mention it a bit, but
Yeah. Size is big part of it. This our device is smaller than or about the same size as a credit card. It'll fit on the back of your smartphone. The big traditional guns are, pretty big. They got a big handle on the display. This does not have a display. It Bluetooths into your smartphone. We have an app that's free and it comes with it. We also have some accessories. So if you do want to have it in the gun, we've got a little tripod that folds down into a grip. It's got a bracket that comes with it. Carry strap, carry bag, all the accessories that you need. It comes with it. The other cool aspect of it is we have a 6+ hour battery life, whereas the other guns usually come with some sort of a AAA batteries, AA batteries, D cell, C cell batteries. Some of them are starting to get to lithium rechargeable batteries, but nowhere near the 6 hour battery life that we have.
So, quick talk about your business model. The Tag One offers pro level performance at a fraction of the price. How'd that pricing strategy affect you guys going to market with your approach?
That was really kind of where we started at is we wanted to be a small device that consumers could carry around with them when they go to the ballpark, but we wanted it to be affordable. We wanted them to be able to get that professional grade training at an affordable price. Like you see in the launch monitor space, those launch monitors for golfing are outrageously expensive, three, four,
Yeah.
$5,000. I can't afford one, and when you got two small kids, most people can't afford a $500 to $1,000 radar. So we wanted to bring it down into a price point that was that mom and dad could go to the store and say, you know what, I do want to see how fast Johnny or Jill can pitch, and how are they improving, and be able to track that through software and at a reasonable price.
May I ask on the high side, what's the price? The high side. I'm not asking for the low.
Yeah, so
What would your customers spend money on?
our customers right now can go to Amazon or our website and buy it at $299.99.
Oh wow, that's nice. So that allows it to get down to the little league level and that.
That's right.
That's
We target our consumers from 13 plus. But if mom and dad wants to buy it and get it even down to the little league and lower, they absolutely can. But um, at 13 years old, there's child protection laws and stuff that we had to go around. So that's why we say 13 and up. But if mom and dad want to use it for their 8-year-old son that's just learning to pitch and wants to track him until he's off to college, that's exactly the target market we're looking at.
all right. So speaking of customers, the ideal customer profile, I would imagine there's multiples, but how do you acquire new users? What's your target? Are you targeting individuals, athletes, parents, coaches, training facilities? What channels so far are you reaching?
A very great question. Early on, we were starting to do a lot of grassroots. We were going to a DBAT training facility in Lawrence, Kansas, in our backyard, and then were starting to do some pitching clinics and hitting clinics and really getting out in front of customers because we wanted to get that face-to-face feedback right away and find out what are some of the challenges. And on a new device like this, you get so far in the design and so far in the development, you can't see the trees through the forest. And so we wanted to get that interaction early on. But as we got that and got that feedback, we made some changes and updates. We started reaching out to local community colleges. We started working on social media. We're doing a lot on Google Ads. We're doing a lot of advertising on Amazon. Right now, we're completely on Amazon and our own website. So 100% e-commerce. We are starting to reach out to retail shops and training facilities and those folks so that we can start selling them in a lot of distribution channels.
Sure. I just saw that you launched your own podcast, Beyond the Glove, on YouTube and Spotify. How important is that? Go ahead.
That was with a local company called Pro Athlete. They sell bats and gloves, and we got a chance to go through their warehouse, and that's the most bats and gloves I've ever seen in my life. And they invited us to be on that podcast with them, and that was an awesome opportunity. We got to talk about first radar guns that were out there. The first one was the guy pulled his cop car out onto the baseball field and was capturing speeds. Nolan Ryan, they did it with him, and they captured his speed almost 100 miles an hour. Some folks said that it reached 108, but I don't. Their scientists are saying that's probably not physically possible, but it wouldn't be surprised that it hit 101, 102 miles an hour. So that was back in the 70s that some of that started happening. I used to work for Bushnell, and Bushnell built one in the early 2000s, and that device is with a couple of iterations later, it's still on the market. So there's been a lot of technology and advancements in this space in the last 10, 15 years. And so I think we've really pushed the limits with our device.
This is a question I had. I forgot to ask you. Is this a product? Where do you stand from a competitive standpoint? I'm sure I'm going to ask some competitive questions, but is it a red ocean, blue ocean? Where are you thinking when it comes to this?
Yeah, we're from a competitive perspective. There's devices that are in the $99 range, but they're very cheap. They're not well built like our device. And then there's devices that are the 799 and above that are more of the guns that a lot of the pro scouts use. There's a little handheld that is in the 399, but as you add all of its accessories, it pushes $500. So at 299, I think we're pretty competitive. There's really not much around us, especially when you add the Bluetooth capability, the software, the app, and then some of the artificial intelligence stuff that we're working on and starting to work on. So we're in a unique position. We also are IP67, so we are waterproof up to a meter deep for 30 minutes, and also dust proof so that it does not ingress into the device. And when mom and dad are at the ballpark all weekend long, that 6 hour battery life and being able to leave it out into the sun and having it dust proof is huge, because it gets dry and hot in this Midwestern environment, and you don't want dust to ruin your device. So we've made it so that it is very rugged, very portable, and it is pushing the technology boundaries.
Yeah, one of the worst places I've ever been is a baseball field in the middle of summer in Oklahoma. I almost died.
Yes, absolutely.
What other channels, from a marketing perspective, have been effective in selling? Media influence and social media influence partnerships, athletes, coaches, associations.
Yeah, we've partnered up with a local community college coach, and then we've partnered with a couple of his softball players. They've been very effective on social media. It's amazing the reach that some of these young ladies have on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll tell you that these athletes, my I think my middle school or high school team would have gotten their butts kicked by these softball players nowadays. They're bigger, faster, stronger, better. I mean, I'm amazed on how athletic these young ladies and young men are nowadays. It's amazing, and so getting access to those coaches and players and athletes from an NIL perspective and also through social media has been a huge help for us. And so really helping us get the name out there and helping us reach consumers that we otherwise wouldn't be able to reach.
Awesome. Let's talk about some of the headwinds that you face. What are some of the biggest operational challenges you're facing? Things like tariffs, electronic components, supply chain issues, radar technology, maybe regulatory hurdles, perhaps?
Yeah, tariffs right off the bat. When we were getting ready to launch the product, there was a 135% tariff that was facing us as a headwind, and we our goal was to keep the price as low as we possibly could, and that really concerned us. We actually thought about just delaying our launch a little bit, but we were like, okay, let's keep focused, let's keep full steam ahead, and then our tariffs were reduced way down from that. So that helped us out a lot to be able to help us get to market at our price point where we still have a pretty big tariff. That's why we're at 299. But I'm hoping over the next year or two, some of those tariffs will reduce, and we can even bring products to market at a lower price. Um, Supply chain issues. It takes us about 90 days to get product from the time we submit a PO to the time it's ready to be shipped to us. So there's component issues there, lead times that we deal with. Our product is manufactured in Shanghai, China. We do import it here to our Lenexa office. We designed it, put together all the requirements, everything here in the United States, and our factory in China helps us build it and get it to help us get it to market. Other challenges, I think it's more on the consumer side. launching a brand new company, the brand awareness is not there. That's been the biggest headwind in my mind, is just getting the word out, getting people to know who Tag Sports is and what we are up to, what are we doing, and what the Tag One Sports Radar does for them.
Nice. Your device features some directional filtering and can track both pitch speed and exit velocity simultaneously, which is unusual. Can you explain how that radar technology works and why it's a game changer for athletes?
Yeah, so our technology is on a patch antenna. Basically, what that means is it's on the backside of our printed circuit board, has a couple of um, transducers or transmitters, excuse me, and it'll send out the radar wave. When it hits something, that radar wave bounces back and it comes back into the receiver. The way we've set up our patch antenna and our device is when that product is when that radar is sent out, another radar is sent, and another one, and another one. And as it hits objects, and it could be the same object coming in as the object going out, it sends back all that information, and our algorithm and our firmware on our device looks through that and says, okay, the first one was at this speed, the second one was at this speed and at this second or millisecond, and the second one was at this millisecond. We pull that in, decipher that, and then we put that in our smartphone app so that the consumer can see the pitch velocity and the hit exit velocity off the bat.
That's awesome. So AI is clearly central to your platform. With the AI CE, which stands for coaching expert, correct?
That's correct.
What's
And we call it ACE. We couldn't get access to just ACE because a big, huge company that does AI had that already trademarked. So we had to be a little clever. So, but as you know, in baseball, the ACE on your staff is your main pitcher. And so
right?
that's what we were trying to go after is the artificial intelligent coaching expert, or ACE. You can go in there and ask it different questions. One of the questions you can ask it is, what is WAR in baseball? Wins above replacement, which is a great term to be able to compare Babe Ruth to Shohei Ohtani. You can compare them from back in the 30s when Babe Ruth was in his prime to Shohei Ohtani now in his prime, and you can see kind of comparison how they relate. And their WAR numbers are very similar. It's amazing how well their WAR numbers are together. You can also ask it, how do you throw a fastball? How do you throw a cutter? How do you throw a slider? How do you throw a sweeping? And it'll tell you all those things. You can then also ask it, what were my last 50 pitches and what speeds? And then what was my best speed? What was my lowest speed? And it'll start helping you figure out, what is my range? Where do I need to improve? And then you can also ask it, how do I improve my pitching velocity? How do I lift weights? And it'll tell you all those things. And it also answer questions on golf as well and softball.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. I could actually see an athlete that is looking to move on to, let's say, university, that he has his own, just so that he could track all of his own stuff. And that would be, I could see how that'd be very helpful. So when it comes to building, go ahead.
Kevin, one other thing I want to add there, you mentioned about going on to university. Because our device is central to a smartphone with the MagSafe, you can clip it to the back, and then we use the camera from the phone to capture video. So we'll capture 4 minutes before the pitch arrives and 2 seconds after it. We'll clip that video, we'll overlay the pitch and the exit velocity on that video and store it on your phone. So the kiddo can capture all these videos, and say he wants to create a highlight reel. He can put it in a highlight reel, put some music to it, and send it off to all the different coaches. And then we can also export all the pitching sessions that he's done in a CSV file, like an Excel spreadsheet, and show on September 1st of 2025 till September 1st of 2030, here are the 5 years of pitching, and here's how I improved, and here's how I improved my pitching velocity or my exit velocity on my hitting.
That's amazing. So when it comes to building your team, let's move a little bit. What are the main challenges in facing the hiring, especially for roles that blend hardware engineering, software development, and sports expertise?
One of the first things I look for on when hiring my teammates over the last year is, can I work with them, and can, because there's going to be a lot of rough times and challenging times, and can we ensure that we can get along and maintain that professionalism. And then the other aspect of it is we wear many hats here. Our marketing manager not only does marketing and advertising, he also helps pick, pack, and ship. We've been updating firmware on the device. We'll sit down in our warehouse and update the firmware. We go out and set up our tent for grassroots events and do events out there. And we all have to wear many hats. And so that's the thing. The other aspect that I look for is, are they versatile? Can they handle a lot of different roles and competing priorities and being able to juggle multiple things at one moment? And so that's really some of the challenges that I've found in hiring individuals, being able to come in this environment that there's no parameters, that my job is this every single day. It is not the same thing every day. It is multiple things multiple times a day, and sometimes even at the same time that you're having to juggle different things. So that's really those things that I'm looking for, is the versatility, you know, enthusiastic, energetic, very knowledgeable in their space, because I do want them to be a subject matter expert in engineering or what have you. But our two engineers are mechanical engineers by training, but they've picked up software development and app development and SQL development and AI development pretty quickly. And that's really kind of what I am looking for, someone that's intelligent, that can quickly pick up things and dive into it and help us problem solve and think through things logically and differently.
Well, they say when you're launching a brand, it's nothing but problem solving.
That's
The
exactly
entire
right.
you leave one to the next.
That's right.
So, speaking of problem solving, let's talk about sales. What are you running into in the beginning here in trying to get the product to market?
The awareness, just trying to build awareness out there, and reaching out to retail shops, and having them take a chance on selling our device, and making that investment, and finding out or knowing that a consumer's going to come in and ask for that product. So creating the awareness, driving the consumer adoption, and being able to get the word out there to the consumers that we're here and that we're selling units. So that's been our biggest challenge in driving sales, is just awareness and marketing, and just trying to reach all these target consumers.
Awesome. You mentioned that Einstein's founder and CEO is Zhongbo Wang, who obviously has an impressive background from Beijing Institute of Technology. And is it UK, you said? University of Kansas?
Yep, he went to KU. UK is
KU.
Kentucky. Yep,
Sorry.
Kansas
Sorry.
University. Yep, but he was a professor there for a few years. Yes, he's a very impressive background, and very innovative and very creative.
How's that helping delivering this and bringing this to market? I mean, if you look up his wiki, he's a pretty interesting cat.
Yes. Yeah, it's helped out a lot, and there are sometimes that I just can't keep up with him, because he's always way out there thinking on the next product, next ideas, next things we need to do, and I'm like, wait a minute, time out, we got to figure out what we're doing here today. But yes, he just, his innovativeness and his and we, for an example, we were out at the ballpark trying to troubleshoot something. He came out, he was, and saw what we were doing, and he goes, here's the situation, here's the problem, here's how we solve it, and had that down almost instantaneously. He could see what was going on, and he's like, yep, here's what the issue is. We reached out to our R&D team and our factory over in Shanghai. Within several days, we had it fixed, and we had a new firmware ready for that Monday to release to the consumer. So that has been a huge advantage for us, to be able to have that knowledge and capability that can come out and help us problem solve and troubleshoot, and get to a solution quickly.
Awesome. So, looking out for the next 5, 10 years, what's your vision for tag sports? Are there new sports tools coming, technologies, markets you're exploring? Baseball, softball, golf. What else do you have? I mean, you've already mentioned that You have
Yep.
some of those.
Yep. So any radar technology that you can think of, we want to start diving into. Our official brand is Tag Sports and Outdoor. So anything outdoor, anything sports related, we'll investigate. And we want to redefine and create a new category. We want to be the category kings in sports and outdoor, around radar. There's a lot of opportunities around analytics and intelligence and all of the stuff that consumers are wanting to do outdoors and with sports. I think there's a space for us to come in and revamp it and revitalize it and invigorate some activities that are outside and make it easier, make it fun, make it enjoyable.
What advice would you give fellow entrepreneurs trying to take technology from one industry like aerospace and successfully apply it to new problems in a completely different market?
Make sure you have a really strong um, vision on where you want to go, and then be patient with that and ensure and trust your instincts on building your product, making sure all of those things that you learned in that other industry, that other category, bring those learnings with you to that new space because they will help you immensely. And then just also listen to the consumer, customer, whatever that is, whoever's buying your product. Listen to them, find out early on, get it in front of them early, and test it often, and get that feedback, and trust that, and make those changes. Because yeah, it may be a focus group of 5 or 10, but that scales, and you need to be able to scale. And then the last piece is be patient. You just be patient and just continue to move forward and continue to drive through those headwinds like I mentioned. And like you also mentioned, problem solving. You have to be a really good problem solver because you've got problems every day that's facing you. That's a challenge.
Yeah. For anyone who wants to learn more about Tag Sports or try the Tag One or check out your new podcast, where can they find you online and connect with you or your team?
Yeah, so go to our website, tagsports.ai, or reach out to me. My email address is jnichols@tagsports.ai, or reach us on LinkedIn or any one of our social channels. Our product is available on Amazon and our own website, so check us out there. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, Jared Nichols, Managing Director of Tag Sports and Outdoor, thank you for joining Production Pioneers. And to the listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the conversation, please subscribe, leave us a review, share the episodes with somebody interested in sports technology and athletic performance. Until next time, this has been Kevin Durkin, CEO of Quant-Tek with Production Pioneers. Keep innovating, keep growing, and keep making a difference. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.